Yo, what's up fam? I'm Brandon Rico and I'm back again with another video, another BandLab tutorial. This is going to be part 2 to my previous video. So it's been a couple of days since I showed you some BandLab mixing tips for beginners. So hopefully you were able to play around and experiment with some sounds and effects and presets that you like inside of BandLab. In the last video, I wanted to show you how to navigate through BandLab and where to find your effects and how to create presets for your effects. In this video, I want to show you a little bit more about what each effect does and when and how you should use them. Alright, so once again, we are on BandLab Mobile. Reason being is because everybody has access to a mobile device. 9 times out of 10, the very device that you're using to watch this video is the device that you can use to create on BandLab. Doesn't matter if you're on Android, Windows, Mac, iPhone, BandLab is available for all platforms. We're also going to be using the same session from the last video, so if you haven't checked that out, I would definitely recommend that you check out part 1 of this video. Since our last session, I've added an extra track, which is track number 5. And this is a sampler instrument actually, so I just tap this button and then I hit the sampler instrument. And so opening up the sampler instrument, all I did was go ahead and, well, I didn't record my own voice, but I hit the edit tab and delete that. And I hit browse. And all I did was search through the different packs. So you can go through packs, you can go through one shots, or you can go through loops. I just chose the loops category and the voice category. So now we have a vocal sample added to our pad. And this is what it sounds like.
Bad dreams barely mean a thing these days now.
Alright, so now that we've added that vocal to our track, let's go ahead and go into the basic mixer. So we're going to swipe right. And then let's hit solo on that. And then let's maybe bring in another instrument.
Bad dreams barely mean a thing these days now. Sleep like a baby since you call me crazy. Funny how it all pans out. Bad dreams barely mean a thing these days now. Sleep like a baby since you call me crazy. Funny how it all pans out.
Let's go ahead and see what it sounds like all together so that you can get a reference of the actual composition. So there are quite a few things that we can do and tweak inside of this beat, inside of this composition already. So now revisiting this, one of the things that we want to do is kind of balance some of the highs and lows of our instruments, or even bring out this vocal a little bit more. So let's go ahead and go into the effects. You see all of these different presets predestined for this type of instrument. But what we know is that we can create our own effects preset. So what you're gonna do is press this plus button and then we can hit explore. Like I said, navigating through the other video, we can go ahead and find all of our we can move this tab and we can go ahead and find all of our types of effects. So one of the effects that I like to use, especially on drums or just to bring something up more up front into the mix, is dynamics, and this will bring forth like noise gates, compressors and you know, limiters and stuff like that. And what a noise gate can do is actually reduce some background noise if you have any. So let's say if you're recording in a room like this one and you have a crappy microphone, you have a little bit of background hiss or background noise or anything like that, you could increase or decrease the threshold to get rid of some of that background noise, and that will give you a little bit more professional audio sounding vocal mix. So let's go ahead and hear what it sounds like inside of our mix. And I think that this vocal is already recorded pretty clean, but we'll see what it does to the vocal anyway.
Barely mean a thing these days now. I sleep like a baby. Crazy, funny how it all pans out. Bad dreams barely mean a thing.
And so you can see that when I increase the threshold, it kind of takes the quieter parts of this singer performing, and it kind of dampens them out. So any of the quieter attributes inside of your vocal recording will be dropped out, and everything that is supposed to be enunciated and everything that is supposed to be emphasized will be still left in the mix. So if you have any like breathy vocals or anything like that, this will help with the performance of breathy vocals or P sounds or S sounds. Speaking of S sounds, you can also add a de-esser, which it actually sounds exactly like what it is. So you can go ahead and go to Dynamics and go to de-esser. So again, you would use this for like a crappy microphone where you don't have a pop filter, or you have a little bit more intrusive S sounding lyrics that you're recording into the microphone. You can kind of dial back on that after the fact and kind of get rid of that S or hiss sound. So with that being said, you can also add an equalizer to your mix. And I believe BandLab lets you add up to 8 effects per track. So you have plenty of room to get the sound that you're looking for from your tracks. So I have an equalizer, and this is a pretty basic version of an equalizer. So you can kind of adjust your low frequencies, your mid frequencies, and sort of like how you would adjust the treble and the high frequencies in the car and stuff like that. This is the same exact concept. So if you feel like your vocals are a little bit too tinny, you can actually adjust the high frequencies by pulling that down. And then you can bring up the mid tones. Or if you feel like you got way too much bass in your vocal track, you can bring the low end down, and then that'll pretty much do the same thing. Now there are some more options for equalizing where you can go ahead and get a little bit more dialed in on your low, high, and mid-range frequencies, and that's called the graphic EQ. We won't touch on that today. That's just when you start getting a little bit more familiar with how equalizers work and how you want to high pass and low pass your filters and stuff like that, then you'll probably graduate to using a graphic equalizer. So for now, we can either remove it or replace it. I think we're going to replace it with something like with the modulation, or let's go with a reverb. A reverb is kind of like the spacing and where you want your instrument or your vocal to sit in a room, or what type of room or what type of size room that you want your vocal to sit in. So let's pick a reverb. So you can play with the size of the room that you just put your vocal in by adjusting the width, the actual size of the room. You can make it into a small, narrow hall by creating the width at about. Or you can make it a wide open room, like a stadium type sound. And then you can dampen that up, so it's not so light and airy. Kind of put just a light muffle on it. And you can see after that vocal stops, it has a little bit of a tail at the end. So yeah, you can always use that way. I usually use modulations on more so like instruments and stuff like that. This adds a lot of texture and kind of vibration and movement to your instruments or even your vocal tracks. So let's go ahead and go with the chorus ensemble. What modulations do is kind of takes a wave file, a sound, and duplicates it, and it kind of plays it against itself. So they're always phasing in between each other. This can have an effect to where it starts to sound like it's doubled up, or like there are multiple instruments or multiple effects in the same room. So you can adjust the effect level, like how much you hear it. You can affect the depth.
A dream barely mean a thing these days. Now I sleep like a baby since you call me crazy. Funny how it all pans out. A dream.
And if you add multiple chorus effects, you can actually get a really, really cool sound. So let's add another chorus effect.
A dream barely mean a thing these days. Now I sleep like a baby since you call me crazy. Funny how it all pans out.
And last but not least, for this video, I'm gonna show you a filter. And you can find the built-in multi-filter in the tones tab. And this will give you a little bit more of that muffled sound or a really, really high-pitched hiss, light and airy sound, depending on your filter type. So right now I have it on a low pass.
A dream barely mean a thing these days. Now I sleep like a baby since you call me crazy. Funny how it all pans out. Barely mean a thing these days. Now I sleep like a baby since you call me crazy. Funny how it all pans out.
And then once you're all done and you got a sound that you actually like, you can go ahead and reference it inside of your mix. So experiment with different sounds and different effects. You can actually see how you can transform completely any instrument or any vocal track into something completely different than what you originally recorded. And even something like modulations or reverbs to bring a little bit more life, a little bit more depth, and a little bit more character to your vocals or your instrument tracks. So this is all part of the mixing process. You'll use these tools and techniques so that your end result, your end mix, will sound a lot better to your audience and have a little bit more effect and a little bit more depth. Let me know if this was helpful to you. Let me know if you want to see a little bit more about mixing tips inside of BandLab. We're just scratching the surface. I just wanted to show you some of what type of effects there are and what some of them do. Again, let me know in the comments if this was helpful. Go ahead and hit that like button if it was. Drop your questions and feedback inside of the comment section below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss anything that I post just like this in the future. We do BandLab content and a whole lot more. I'm Brandon Rico. Thanks for rocking with me. Thanks for rocking with the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.